everybody. Hey.
Hey.
My name is Eunice.
I'm Jordyn.
I'm Bobbi.
I'm Sam.
I'm Anna.
And we're the nurse.
We're Julia's a nursing school.
So we come here to talk to you guys about our experiences with the nursing program thus far. And we're gonna start with what we first started with the what was it called?
Transitioning from pre-nursing to nursing.
Yeah, and the first thing we had to do was take the Kaplan test to get in nursing. Let's talk about that.
Yes,
That
a
was a
whole lot
trial.
of critical thinking.
You wanna start, Anna?
Yeah. So I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. I actually failed my Kaplan twice. Woo, yeah. But the third time, I was critically thinking. It was like the SATs, but more so science and math and critically thinking, like dissecting the paragraphs and everything. And I really didn't master that, but by taking that Kaplan and actually reviewing over my life and my situation, passed on the third time.
If you're not familiar with SATs, they're like ACTs. If you don't know, you're
Yes.
from the West or whatever. ACTs, SATs are like the same thing. That's how it was. You wanna go ahead, Sam?
We're talking about the Kaplan test, right?
Kaplan test.
Yes.
So for the Kaplan test, I passed on my first time, and what I would recommend to you is to make sure you review your basic algebra skills, because those are essential in passing the math portion of the test. It's also very important that you take your time during the test. Read every question and make sure you answer the question efficiently and not forget anything that is needed to answer the question, especially in the reading, because they will try and trick you in the question. So it's important to pick out the important information in the
Yes.
question
Yes.
and to answer only what the question is asking you for.
Yes, key.
I took the Kaplan twice. The first time I didn't study for it. I just wanted to see how it was. Then the second time I actually did a little bit more studying than I did. I would say, what was the last thing you said? Oh, answer the question. Don't read too much into the question. I always made an extra scenario on top of the question when the question wasn't even asking me about the background. The question was so straightforward. So just take your time, read the question, dissect the question, and answer just the question.
I actually took the Kaplan once and passed my first time. I would recommend that you really pay attention to your anatomy and physiology, because it was definitely, the science for us was a lot of anatomy and physiology. And I think for that class as a whole, you should just learn how to study and memorize material. Just don't look over it and think you're going to not need it for your next courses, because you're just going to build up on it after your pre-nursing.
I'm like Bobbi. I took the test twice. One time I didn't. Well, the first time I didn't study. It was like a free time for me because I won a raffle, so I got to take it for free. So I didn't study. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't study, and I actually like got 1 point away from passing. So like that was like really. I looked at that score like, what? Like, you're not gonna let me, like, I try to negotiate, y'all, but like, to piggyback with what everybody else said, read the question carefully. Do not add on anything. Just answer it as is. Go with your first pick.
How about
Yes.
that?
Go with your first pick.
That's what I was going to say at the end.
Go with your first pick, because we'll talk about a little bit more about like what we do now in terms of PrepU. Don't forget that word, PrepU. But yeah, just go with your first pick. How about that? Okay, so the next topic we're gonna talk about
Wait, I wanted to say something.
Okay.
The reason why I failed the first time, I changed my answers 5 different times. 5!
Yeah, go with your first
instinct.
And it tells you, sorry, about tests, all of them. As soon as you start the program, there's no such thing as just like plain spit out information.
No.
Everything is a scenario. Every question is a scenario, so you have to really understand what you're talking about. So yeah, just understand that. Just know what you're getting yourself into. Not to discourage you as possible. It just takes a lot of practice. So next topic is
great study habits. We're going to talk about PrepU.
PrepU. Okay. PrepU is just what the word is. It's
Yep.
prepping you
It's prepping you.
for
Everything.
everything.
You want to start off this time?
Yeah, I can start off. Okay, so PrepU is basically like a test bank. It has like, it's like our little study tool for every single class. Every class that you have is gonna have a PrepU test bank, like online. And you go do it on your own time. Most of our quizzes and our tests are actually on PrepU as well. But one of our professors actually told us that, the more PrepU you do, the better chance you have of passing your test on the first time, the better chance you have of passing your NCLEX in the long run. But it'll definitely help you out within the course of the year. I know that when I first started, I know that I tried to like lean towards doing 10 to 20 questions a day. That wasn't cutting it. Now I'm at about 60 questions. I think maybe if I'm feeling good, 20 per class every night, just to jog my memory from class and read over all the things that you learn in class, everything. You're not gonna have a lot of time just to be lollygagging and things like that. So just use your time wisely. Read over them questions.
And just because you do a lot of questions does not mean you're going to pass that quiz or test.
Yep.
You actually have to learn the material and understand why you got that answer wrong, why your answer was incorrect. You really have to, what's the word? Rationale, the explanation. Because just because you memorize the answer does not mean you understand the material. It's basically like that. I did that and I did not do well. So I'm learning as I go on that you really have to pay attention and understand why this one little sentence does not make sense or why this does not pertain to this. You just really have to try to understand the material and be able to critically think, guys. Critical think. Not logically. Critically.
That's going to be your favorite 2 words.
Yes. That is the key, critically thinking. Yes. I feel like PrepU, you should actually just do it if you feel like you don't have nothing to do, you feel like you did your work,
PrepU.
then you ain't do your work because you need to be on PrepU doing some questions because work is never over. Work is never over.
It's never nothing to do.
It's never nothing to do.
Never.
So, yeah, I find myself doing PrepU whenever. Anytime I feel like I have free time, I feel like I have that time. Oh, I'm not doing nothing. Let me take a nap. Maybe I should get up and do some PrepU.
PrepU.
So my colleagues basically said everything that's important about PrepU. But one thing that I learned that I need to take away from PrepU is the fact that you need to make sure that you're keeping up with your assignments in PrepU. Because
they will close it.
They will close and they will not open again. So it is very important that when you see that you have an assignment coming up, that you make time in your schedule to do it so that you don't fall behind and your grade doesn't suffer, because you're going to need every point that you can get. And letting the free ones get away is definitely not a good way to go from a B to an A, C to a B, and so on and so forth. So it's very important to keep up with your assignments and to make sure that you're always on task and you haven't forgotten to do any of them.
Yeah. I just want to say something before I talk about PrepU. This video is not to scare you. I promise you. This is to help you. We wish we had somebody to show us this video right now, because we're just being thrown into it. We do not want you guys to go through what we had to go through. So let me tell you about PrepU for me. I got every single question wrong the first time. Zero. So this is what I do. I go into the questions, because at the end of your questions, they give you the correct answers and the rationales, like my colleagues did say. I write down the question, the multiple choice answers, and the reason why. And I also put down the page number, because every time you go back to that page number, there's always something there that you can catch for the next question. And I'm not the person that just reads it and gets it. I have to write it, read it, write it, walk around, go to the bathroom, read it again, think about my life, read it again, and understand it. So if you're like that, I advise you to write down the rationales and go back to the page number. That's a little bit of what I have to say about PrepU. So our next thing is always remember your ABCs, infection, and ANA. American Nursing Association. I'm sorry, Nolan. Please forgive me.
A&A.
When in doubt, those 3 things
No, seriously.
on the test.
That's what the senior told us.
This is
The senior told us. So just remember, okay? Put that, burn it into your memory.
want to talk about ABC?
Okay. what is it? Airway, breathing, and
Circulation.
So, how can I put this? Okay, so I remember like when the first time Anna and I were doing PrepU, we were like freaking out as if it were like graded or something like that. Yes. Mostly it's not graded, it's just for your practice, just know that. So we went to, I went to Anna's room, and there's a senior there who's in the nursing program. And she was just helping us out with the questions. She was just telling us that, like, you know, not even when in doubt, but like if you're thinking critically, if ever anything is wrong with your patient, you want to check your airway. Mm-hmm. Like just okay. So that's just to like get your mind jogging. Yeah. If ever anything goes wrong, it's a couple things that you need to check. You'll probably get into this when you get into clinicals, but it's definitely the vital signs. You'll learn about that later. It's airway, and it's, you know, just the name brand things, not the name brand, but the what am I saying?
Things to know.
Just things to remember.
If
your client can't breathe, what's gonna happen?
And just think like that. Like, you don't have to think super deep. Like, don't think about bronchitis or like, you know,
it can
diarrhea,
be the simplest thing.
Just the simplest thing. Like, keep your mind as simple as possible. Just don't overthink questions, because we overthought, and that's why we got those zeros. So just, you know, like we said, critically think, but don't like stretch yourself out trying to think about questions. Don't. All right.
And you're definitely going to be stressed your first semester, because your pre-nursing and nursing are two totally different things.
Very different. Very different. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, so for pre-nursing, for me, I was used to studying the night before, 3 chapters, and getting A on a test. Now, 20 chapters, 1 class, and getting C's. So it's definitely hard. Like, just being able to transition from pre-nursing to nursing is very difficult, and I feel as though you really have to just learn time management and just be able to accept that you can't do the same things you used to be able to do. You just can't. You have to, at some point, you have to change. You have to change your study habits and what you want. If you really want it, you're going to change.
Yes. Yeah, especially for me, I still try to do some of my extracurricular activities. And I wasn't getting any sleep. I would be up for class 8 o'clock in the morning, in class for 6 hours. Well, 3, get an hour break, 3, and then do my little bit of studying, go to dinner, then go to practice for a good 2-3 hours, and then be up studying for an exam. So it's just, you have to sacrifice some things. And schedule your time accordingly, because sleep is important and eating is important too. You can't cut that out.
Don't forget to take care of yourself. Yeah. Do not forget to take care of yourself.
Let me say a little something about me. Freshman year, I was not a nursing major. No, I was a bio major, and not to discredit the major, but it's completely different. So I was on the track team, and I ran hurdles, and I was able to balance track and bio courses. But when I switched over to nursing, I realized I'm in a different major. I don't have the same time to run. I don't have the time to, sometimes I don't even have the time to eat. But don't be like me. But just knowing that your major, this major that you have chosen, is the hardest undergrad major. So I'm not saying you can't do things, but you just need to prioritize, because that's what I didn't do.
So again, we're not trying to scare you.
No.
We're just trying to, just let you know. Just
a commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment, but it's so possible. We got the same, not this in-depth lecture, but we got a lecture similar to this one from the seniors, and they told us all of this horrific stuff about the nursing program, but then they cushioned it by saying, but we got it's 4.0s in this thing. Like, people have 4.0s in this profession, in this nursing, in this class. It's possible. It's possible to, still keep that scholarship. It's possible to still keep that high GPA.
It is.
You just gotta put the work in. You have to put you have to time manage. That's one thing. Oh Lord,
transition.
Learn how to time manage. I remember our first assignment in the SMART class was to make a calendar, and nobody went in and do it. I was a little apprehensive about it. I'm like, what am I making a calendar for?
I'm like, yeah, wow.
But then I made it, and I realized how essential it was to my life. I have so much time to study, and I didn't even know. Oh my gosh, I was so perplexed. But make a calendar. Make a calendar, please, 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 please. But whether it be a daily one, a weekly one, a